Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.20. You know, every day that I sat down this past week to make videos, we were either at or around $2.20. In the middle of the night, last night, XRP broke out, almost breaking above $2.25. But there's some resistance on the way up to $2.30. If we get above $2.30, then it's time to start talking about a major breakout happening. But right now, XRP still looks really good. We're just going sideways. But XRP is still showing a lot of strength as well. Look at Bitcoin. XRP right now is doing better than Bitcoin. And again, a lot of people are saying XRP is starting to decouple from Bitcoin. We're just not quite at that point yet. For the most part, we're still following Bitcoin. Holding the ground, strongest of them all. XRP has held its ground despite a violent correction across the market. A new all-time high is inevitable. And it's true. I mean, we are going to see a new all-time high. We are eventually going to go into price discovery. It's just a matter of time. When people sing crazy numbers about Bitcoin, no one disputes. When someone talks about XRP at $20 or $30 range, it's the doomsday. PTSD takes over. Bitcoin volatility decreases while XRP's is increasing. XRP is one who can have great gains in this run, not Bitcoin. Like I told you, the return on investment is in XRP right now. The most you're going to see out of Bitcoin is maybe, and this is stretching it, maybe a 2x from where it's at right now. With XRP, everybody's predicting 20 to 50x. I see people calling for 100x still. I think we are definitely going to see a 10x. That's almost a guarantee. Then you could start looking at possible 20, 30, 40x as well. But we really don't know what's going to happen yet. But you know, when people talk about Bitcoin hitting crazy price points, the reason that nobody gets up in arms about it is because they always talk about scarcity. Well, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. That's why the price is going to continue to go higher. But in all actuality, most of the value in Bitcoin is tether, and it's not actual value. Fixed supply, increase in demand. You don't have to go to MIT to know what's going to happen. Take a listen to Brad Garlinghouse here.
There is relatively speaking, leaving forks aside, there's relatively speaking fixed supply, and you have increasing demand. And when endowments and institutions, Joey and I sat in a meeting not that long ago with, some of the largest institutional money in the world trying to get smart about crypto. They owned zero on that day. I don't know if they do today. But as they enter the market, you have fixed supply, increasing demand. You don't have to go to MIT to know what's going to happen. I did not go to MIT, just for the record.
And we all know what's going to happen. The demand for XRP is going to continue to rise. Right now, we are still waiting for that mass institutional adoption to happen. And that's the next big thing. That's going to start with the ETFs. But a lot of institutions are also buying in the background. When people are selling, the institutions are buying. People want to position themselves before the real breakout even starts. And with supply and demand, it's just a matter of time. Institutions gobble up $37 million in XRP last week. Bitcoin and Ethereum suffer outflows. XRP is likely to be an outperformer. And even in this article, they're talking about institutional investors buying XRP. And the reason the money's flowing out of Ethereum and Bitcoin is because of the return on investment. First of all, Ethereum, there's no hype around it this time around. And with Bitcoin, like I said, you could plan on maybe getting a 2x. Everybody wants a great return on their investment. And the great returns on investment are in utility-driven cryptocurrencies. Because the institutions, once they get here, they're not coming into this space to do nothing. They're not coming here just to buy and hold a cryptocurrency. They want to open up all kinds of opportunities. Beyond that, they also want to utilize something for its actual use case and utility. When they're sending money around the world, they want something that can do it very fast and very cheap. XRP price prediction, $29.30 by 2030, says Bitwise report. You know what I hate about this article? I think it's meant to keep people out of XRP or get people to sell their XRP. It's 2025. And do you honestly think it's going to take 5 years for XRP to hit $29.30? Right now, people are predicting 3 digits in this run. Other people are predicting conservative price points still above $29.30. $33 seems to be the new number in this run. And then there's this. XRP has FOMO target at $6.60 by 2025. I still think we're going to go higher than that as well. I think that's a great starting point. I think you're going to see a lot of FOMO happen with price discovery. You're going to have so many people buying XRP. Everybody's going to be buying it. People you talked about to XRP too, they're going to be calling you up and asking you, is it too late for me to get into XRP now? Because everybody's going to want to capitalize on this breakout. And I like Crypto Prince's predictions. My XRP price prediction, May 2025, $3 to $5. Rapid surge begins. I agree with that. I think we're going to see ETFs. I think we're also going to get the conclusion of the Ripple versus SEC case as well. June 2025, $3.50 to $5, hovering in the same range. July 2025, he says there's going to be a slight dip and consolidation. I don't think that's going to happen because I think if the ETFs go live, I think we're going to have consistent flow of money coming into those ETFs, pushing the price even higher. September 2025, $10 to $12 major breakout. October 2025, $12 to $15. That goes in line with what most people are predicting. They're saying by the end of this year, we're going to see 2 digits for XRP. High 2 digits. Then early 2026 is when the top comes in at 3 digits plus. That's what most chart guys are saying right now. The reason I don't do charts is because you could say what you want all day long. You could say this looks really good here and it looks like we're going to break out and hit this price point. But then all of a sudden, some real world event drops and then we end up dumping out. Now you got to go back and look at the chart again and come up with a different direction on where the chart is going. It's the whole reason that nobody could call these markets 100%. If they could, everybody would be a millionaire by now. And the BIS Innovation Hub has been tirelessly working to create the construct of the Finternet, which utilizes Interledger Protocol, a Ripple protocol. Non-Dawn states that by December, it may be ready for deployment. Take a listen.
And we think over the next year, next few months, by December of this year, we'll actually have enough working technology to show this working. And these are in multiple areas, deposits and wallets, ledgers, and so on. So I think we believe that the time has come to really implement the Finternet approach. And if we can work with making it user-centric, universal, and unified, we're really going to create a financial network that works for everyone, everywhere. And it's really a question of moving it now. I think we can demonstrate in the next few months that technology is not going to be the challenge. Technology will be available. It will be available as open source. Any country, any company can.
So he says the technology is already there, and we know what that technology is. It's RippleNet technology and XRP. But take notice, he said this is going to happen by December of this year. And that lines up with the deployment of Swift ISO 222 messaging standards in November, Finternet in December, Basel III on January 1st, 2026. And that comes from Mr. Mann. And that, if that happens, that could be where we see the flip of the switch moment happen. Because they always said the flip of the switch was going to it was going to happen with ISO. And it was going to happen at some point where we see XRP being utilized inside the Finternet. So if this happens in December and that flip of the switch happens, everything changes. Any price prediction you've heard up to that point is done, because I think we would see high 3 digits very quick. This is where the banks would come out of the testing phase on the private ledger. But we will all know by the end of this year. Blockchain could be headed for ChatGPT moment in adoption, says Citigroup. Here's what's going on. I think everybody's rushing into blockchain right now. You're seeing it getting tied into multiple things. Then you start looking at tokenization happening. Everybody's talking about how blockchain can make everything, faster, and it's going to make it more transparent and safer. Everything can be tracked. So, of course, we're going to see the rise of blockchain. And we're also going to see the rise of AI with it. It's happening at the same time, in parallel. And the reason that is all happening is because they're pushing for this to happen now. A couple of years ago, they were still dragging along. It was like happening at a snail's pace. The entire last 4 years, it felt like nothing happened in the United States, while Ripple was growing out all around the rest of the world. But blockchain was also getting embedded into the current financial system. And that's what we were always waiting on. I always said when people would complain that XRP's going sideways and they're frustrated, I always told them, how long do you think it takes to build an entire new financial system? Because that's what they're doing. They're giving a level playing field to everyone in the world. Everyone will have access to the new financial system. And I think it's almost complete now, because now they're talking openly about things. Like they're describing XRP without saying XRP. They're telling you what they're planning to do over the coming months. A couple of years ago, they would have never even talked about this. And the Finternet was always documented, but never talked about. And now we are entering that phase. People are starting to talk. IMF, World Bank, BIS, and so on. And I always told you that you're very lucky to be holding XRP right now, because the first time ever we beat the institutions to something. Take a listen to this.
Value, right? So what's interesting about digital assets, you have to remember, is it's the first asset class in history in which the regular person entered before institutions did. That's why everybody's up in arms, right? Regular people, this was a retail individual person phenomenon before it became a Wall Street phenomenon. It's one of the first asset classes. I challenge you to find another asset class. So it totally like upended the idea of what power looks like, what power structure looks like, how technology works. And so I don't want to lose that wisdom. That wisdom was really valuable, regardless of like normalizing regulations, ingesting and digesting the sort of the bad actor issues. We should not lose that wisdom, that access to technology to a broad set of people is the way that you mitigate the evils that could reside in it.
Like I said all along, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For the first time ever, retail, the normal, everyday working person, beat the institutions to something this big. And crypto is going to be even bigger over the coming years. We are still in the early stages. Wait until the institutions get here. It's going to be exciting to watch, because you beat them here. And that's why they want to shake you out still. That's why you're watching XRP go sideways at $2.20. There is no way in hell that this is the actual price of XRP. I mean, come on. You know, we've been held back, suppressed for such a long time. And even now that we got clarity for XRP, the price is sitting at $2.20. Sure, it's showing strength, but I think it should easily be around 2 digits already, if not above $10. But don't worry, soon we will be entering that epic run, and it is going to be something so incredible. You're going to have grown men crying, looking at their portfolios over the coming months. And it is going to be absolutely incredible to be part of this. Don't sell too soon. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.